Hello. Hello. Yeah, everything's fine. I'm waiting for the others. Hello. Wait. So, okay, do you want to talk? Wait. Uh, okay, I have invited you. If you want to join, you're welcome to join. Hello, Spiky. How lovely. There we go. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. I'm a bit excited about tomorrow, but I will tell you later. Tomorrow is our live event again. How are you?
Brilliant. What event is this tomorrow?
Sorry?
Tell me about your event tomorrow, more about that event. Oh, tell us later when the space is
Yeah,
full about the
exactly.
event.
I'm waiting for more people to come to tell you about it
Oh, good. Yeah,
and
I'm good.
update you.
It's been busy. It's really, I love that there's so much stuff happening. But
Hmm.
honestly, I cannot keep up anymore.
I've seen you out there with the Canadians and sorts, right?
What I try to do is sort of, you know, try and push like we're everyday people. We're not like international jet set people. We're just common people from the countries we're in. And
Yeah,
those connections with other ordinary people from their countries are the things that sort of like will make an international thing. Yeah, where people can all support each other. Like we've got your event is alongside the Dublin. Oh no, the Dublin event's on the 2016, on the 16th. But
yeah,
just trying to sort of make us all aware of what's going on a wider stage. So, we can just, those like me that are mainly just only keyboard warriors kind of thing can just,
yeah,
show support from wherever it is. Because the more people you get into the YouTube video or the live stream, the more
yeah,
tweets, the more shares, the more eyes will get on it.
exactly. And your podcast will come. I'm so sorry.
Oh, honestly, I have no
Uh,
concerns about it at all.
it
There.
will come. I'm in the post-production, but another one came after that, and I actually finished that, and I'm waiting for that woman to give me a go, and she's not coming back to me. Stupid cow. But anyway, so I've been busy. I've been busy too, but I love our talk. I love our talk, and I actually edited it a bit. Took a
You had
tiny bit
to.
out. Yeah.
Listen, what the one thing I'm gifted at is like endless rabbiting. I can talk about nothing forever.
Lovely. It's such a beautiful talk, to be honest. I really, really enjoyed it, and I really enjoyed the post-production, but I've been so busy. I will tell you later what happened. There are quite some things. So, yeah. Hello, Susanne. Nice to see you. I'm in English mode today, as you know. Uh, yeah, and I hope that the women from the Netherlands will come. I invited them because I want to know if their Let Women Speak event will happen tomorrow because they were on the same day in September, as far as I remember.
Yeah, and that's sort of like when you're doing the keyboard warrior stuff. Yeah, and then like Saturday and Sunday is where most of the events are going to take place. And
Yeah,
see, for like Europe, everybody, sort of like quite a bit of Europe is on the same time scale as me. Yeah, but I had to do time maths. So I was I cannot do time maths. It is just like a foreign concept. Someone says to me from Canada, "Oh yeah, that'll be tomorrow night." I'm thinking, "Oh, Thursday night." But no, it's like midnight. Oh, it's so confusing. I have no
Oh,
clue
is
what
it?
I'm doing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. That happens with me with the Australian and New Zealand girls. Um, that blows my brain, to be honest. You know, when here at night, um, Sabine calls and she says, "Oh, I just got up and I need to go to work now." We we are the next day, mind you. And I thought, okay. Uh, yeah, but well, we're communicating, we're talking to each other, and I think we've done that nicely up to now. I'm so sorry that last time I was really under the weather. I couldn't do it, and I
Oh,
should have informed you earlier, poor thing.
no, no worries. Look, I tend to go roll with the idea that any one of us cannot be able to do what we're going to do when we say it because of all sorts of other reasons. We're women, we're not men that have lots of people running around us to enable us to do these things.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Unfortunately, that's very true.
It's been warm though. I have been virtually soaking wet for about 3 days. It's been
Oh
that
my
warm.
God. In
Yeah, I mean,
England.
yeah, I mean,
No,
I've
I
got
mean in Great Britain.
yeah. Well, it's in England. Yeah, I am very, very English, very
Oh,
clearly
you're very
English.
English. Okay,
Yeah,
so.
I love being English.
Yeah, well, nothing wrong with being English, absolutely not. But
Don't
I
don't
used
tell
to
it.
live
Don't
in
tell
London for a
anybody.
bit.
Don't
Nah,
tell anybody
nah,
I'm English though, because the English have got a bit of a rep.
nah. I know. We've talked about that in the podcast, remember?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I
Did
should
you live
have
in
known.
London? You
I lived in London for a while, yeah, not very long, but yeah. And I was there when I was no, well, when I was growing in my mum's belly, I was in London.
oh
Yes, and I've got a really high, like, do you call it affinity in English?
yes, yeah.
Okay, so affinity to London. And I always thought, why is that? And then I realized, oh, um, I was, well,
You
I
knew
don't
it.
know, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months old when I was there. I mean, in the belly.
Yeah. So you
So
knew it.
I knew it. That's my. It could have happened that I could have been English actually. If my mother had decided to leave me there, open for adoption, um, uh, because I mean she was very young, right? So she
Yeah.
had to make up her mind, being an opaque au pair girl in London.
Yeah. It's
The stories we can tell, isn't it weird? The stories we can tell, really spiky. I
well,
mean,
if you listen to what is supposed to be standard norm, and
yeah,
how things work out, I haven't heard many of those what we call normal stories. You
nothing.
know, it's like we've all got all our mums, our grandmothers, all of us women, we've all
Yeah,
got stories that would make amazing sort of like book parts because it's
absolutely.
and the commonality that we've got between us all with those
Yeah.
experiences.
I remember when we talked for the podcast, I thought I was like blown away by your stories. I was
Mm.
blown away. I remember that. I thought, what the hell have I come into here? What have I gotten into? Oh my
It,
God. Lovely.
it's fun. It's funny though when you tell the story and people are like, when you're in the middle of it and you're going through it, it's
Yeah,
just another piece of crap that you have to deal with it. It's only in the,
yeah.
I think I've said before, it's only in the last sort of 10 years that we've started to decompress because the kids have all left home. Yeah. And we've started to kind of
Jeez.
decompress.
Yeah. Funnily enough, we had a talk about that yesterday, last night. Hello, Madeleine. Um, we had a talk, about this kind of thing. I mean, when you're in the middle of it, you just act. You just act. You have you don't have time to think, oh, this is like a movie, or like this
Yeah.
is surreal and it can't be. It can't be. No, it is, and you have to deal with it. So it's the same like with you and your kids and your partner's kids, and oh my God. What a story. It's
And but
gold.
you literally, you just put yourself, and you don't even know you're putting sort of like your needs or anything like that to one side, or you don't even see that. You just keep going. You keep wading through the shit until you get to a point where perhaps you're not wading quite so deep or something like that. And it just go, one thing leads on to another. And by the time, like I say, by the time, things have got a bit easier, you've been together for 30 years, you've been fighting battles non-stop. Well,
Mm,
actually, like I said, about 10 years now, it's sort of like things have got a lot easier and we've decompressed. But yeah,
10 years. My God.
it's been a riot.
Yes. Oh, I want to finish. I really need to get the energy up to finish our podcast because I bet women will love it. They will absolutely love it. You were
Well,
such a lovely guest. So interesting and so funny and oh my
I
God.
mean, L Squad's making me out to be lovely and all the rest of it. Believe me, people, I'm not one of the lovely ones. My partner's quite lovely. I'm not as lovely.
No, I did get the gist.
I
You're a
worry that
tough
people.
nut.
Well, it's not that I worry that people think I'm all nice and lovely and soft and fluffy, and then I don't react like that. So it's like, oops, no, not me.
No way. No, you're
Yeah.
not fluffy by any means. Oh my God. No, no, not at all. I said, my God, I mean, you have to survive, don't you? You have to be like that. You can't be fluffy if you have to survive that kind of
Yeah.
um
Well, I sort of
life.
like I
Yeah,
said, I've always been it because I had to be fair. I had a lot of fights and I was fairly tough in my childhood. So my life kind of like, in some way, I was the right person to live the life that I led, if that makes sense.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, we talked about that last night. No, we had a brilliant talk yesterday in the German bubble. We had a really, really interesting talk, and that's basically it. You bring what you bring to the situation, and some women have got the resilience and the strength to power through whatever it means, whatever it takes, and others don't. And like we're all
Oh,
caught in the same situation, basically.
I've been
Like,
crushed. There's been times where I've been crushed, and I remember a period of time where I had 2 weeks and I didn't get out of bed in a whole 2 weeks. I have been crushed in the middle at times, yeah, and
hmm
at various fights, and fallen to pieces, and my partner. But we've been there with each other, yeah. And I
yeah,
think I think the fact that we've clinging on to each other, I think, is part of what gave us the strength to survive.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but yeah, one of the things
But
that I say is that we women, whether we recognise it or not, we are all walking wounded on the war on women. Whether we can't see our
absolutely,
scars, you can't see what shit we've waded through, but there's not one of us that gets to. Well, I don't know many people that get to even 20 without having stories that have
yeah,
affected their progression in life.
yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely. And the more, I mean, I don't know, but the more I talk to women, the more women I talk to, the more I think, oh my God, we share the same fate, all of us. It might look different like in different countries and da, 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 da. But generally speaking, we're all buggered, aren't we? It's like we share so much.
the best thing about the fight with over the TRA and the trans situation, the trans ideology, is finding all of you women online and coming together and sharing our stories, the community, the sisterhood that's developing. And yeah, there's infighting, there's fights, and there's all that crap.
Tell me
But
about it.
that's normal.
Yeah,
That's normal women getting together, doing their juggling, working out. Because within the large group, there's different groups, and we all have our bit of a tribe. And sometimes we fit in three tribes, sometimes only one. And that's
yeah.
fine. It's all right not to get on. It's all right to have an argument. It's all right to swear at each other and be horrible to each other. We're people. We're women. We're human.
Ah, But it's so difficult, isn't it? It kills me, honestly. I can't bear it. I can't. Oh, I am, like I'm someone who wants harmony. I'm a Libran. I want harmony and beauty, and.
Ah, see,
Oh,
that's where I'm actually quite lucky in one aspect. There is a place in my life where I have so much harmony and beauty that it's medicine every time I walk into my front room and look out my back door.
right.
Yeah, I've got out our back. There's a you just look out of our back door past our yard, our little garden bit, and there's a field with horses in it.
Right.
So when things get too much, and sometimes I get too rah,
Yeah.
I can go and sit in my back garden and just watch the horses go round and
Oh
you know
my
yeah,
God. Oh, that sounds lovely.
it is it's
Oh,
the most it's the biggest surprise of my life.
how do the
To,
horses get there? I mean, why are they there?
there's a stable over the road, and they're other people's horses,
Right.
and they stable them and look after
Oh,
them, and they do all sorts of things in the field. Like one of the horses does quite a bit of what they call dressage. When they do all that prancy
yeah.
stuff. Yeah, and it's really cute. When he gets his hair done, he has all his plaits done on his mane, and he
Yeah.
has his underside cut all nice and trimmed, and he starts to prance around the field, all proud of himself because he's got his
Oh,
best hair
really?
on. Yeah, it's
Oh,
so cute.
a beautiful new day. Wonderful.
Horses like to have their hair done too. Who knew?
Oh, right. Oh, I didn't even think that they would be kind of like that. But that's lovely. So, Spiky, do you know AP, the other co-host? Have you been introduced to each other yet?
I think AP and I met in one of your spaces before. Hi,
Probably, yeah.
AP.
Yes, we have.
Okay.
Hello, Spiky. Yes, we have met.
Good
Thank
to
you.
see you again.
Thank you for being here, all of you. All of you, all of you. There aren't many yet, but anyway, thank you.
Double check if anyone let people know if I've blocked anybody because I can be a bit blocky. I can get a bit mardy and a bit moody, and sometimes I block people just because they said a couple of
I
words that
do.
pissed me off. Yeah.
I do
So
that.
if anyone wants me to unblock them or unblock one of their mates, DM me or get LSquad to DM me, whichever
Yeah.
you need, or AP perhaps, or one of your mates. Just DM me and I'll unblock because generally speaking, and I can be a bit block mad.
Yeah, same for me here. Okay, so if you're blocked by me, please refer to AP or Spiky because you can't get to me, right? And I will unblock you. Just- oh my God, isn't that mad? We had the same problem the other day in a space. Oh God, sometimes people get on my nerves so much that I just go, blah, get out of here.
Yeah, I still keep thinking about sort of like trying to get a burner phone because I've got one other account that I keep in backup for when I get suspended because I've been suspended I think twice now,
Oops.
and yeah, well, I do say some stuff to be fair,
Yeah,
and
I know.
sometimes my rage actually gets said out loud or in a tweet, so but I forgot what I was saying. Sorry, do that a lot too.
Yeah, you were speaking about a burner phone.
Oh yeah, about trying to get another account set up just for co-hosting, so it doesn't matter who I've blocked. If I'm coming in somebody else's space to co-host, nobody's blocked by me. I've got no followers. There's an account with no followers and no blocks, just to co-host for other people because it seems wrong if you're coming into someone else's space to
Oh,
have people. I know I keep saying I'm going to do it, and I've looked at it twice and haven't found a convenient way yet.
but that's very nice thinking. I could do that
Uh,
because I block so many people, really, honestly. Everyone with a German flag gets shot out, booted, you know. So that's a good idea, very social.
It's just because excluding people because of my opinion isn't something I should be doing in your space.
Oh, yeah.
Hi, Chris. I see Cheryl, True Gem. And I've seen Nick, aka Dutch, around. And Frau and Mutter, I believe I've seen. Madeline rings a bell. I think I've seen Sarah before, I'm not sure. But I've not got the best memory because, I do all sorts of things I shouldn't and don't really take care of my brain.
Maybe you remember other things than names. So I believe we have all different capacities. So some people are very good in remembering names. I'm not, but I'm very good in remembering facts. So I prefer the facts over the names.
Yeah, I remember us being there because you're analytical and statistical and you've read a lot, and I'm like gut and instinct and tend to go with my gut and feel about most things because I'm not well read at all. And although I think I possibly have some analytical ability because of the life I've led, but that's still not detached analytical ability. It's about the life I led, so it's completely subjective and there's nothing objective about it. So yeah. And you probably haven't met Cheryl before. Cheryl is an Australian TERF. Hi, Cheryl.
Good morning. Good morning to everybody. And I have met LSquad before. I've had the pleasure, and I recognise a couple of names in this space. But good morning to you, Spike. It's always lovely to hear your voice. Always so calm and just so generous with your time to everyone. I've just jumped on because I'm really curious for L Squad and people from your neck of the woods. There were two articles that I came across about a month or so ago that were quite disturbing and caught my attention. And because they were concentrated around the Germany area, that I just wanted to hear your more local knowledge on these events if you heard about them, which because you're onto everything, I'm sure you would have. And I just heard from a lovely lady called Sal, who you've probably been in a space with, who said that the childcare had been shut down. So the two articles I'm talking about are the.
Don't worry. Let's wait a second. I need to do something. There it is. I'm recording, right? So I try. Okay. Seems to be working. Wonderful. Okay, so who was next? I think someone wanted to say something and I couldn't hear anybody.
I think it was Cheryl. I'll just go and do some
Ah,
retweeting of this space.
Cheryl, right, Cheryl. Uh, so how are you,
And
Sasha?
I'll just go and do. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we can start with Sasha. She just joined us from the US, I guess. How are you?
I'm doing well. I hope you ladies are doing well also. I would like to start off by saying that I have been encouraging more women to do in-person actions because these TRAs, the reason that they're able to have so much success is because that they know that they can do real world organizing despite the fact that their position is extremely misogynistic and sexist. They were able to force it into the public political sphere because they had a presence, they had an in-person presence, and they were basically able to bogart their way onto the political stage, the global political stage, by basically forcing the censorship of women, shouting over women, organizing in person, shutting down women's centers. And so what we have to do is we have to be equally
around the world. But is it something that has been on the radar in Germany for a long time, or is it just same as it is everywhere else? Thanks for that.
Oh my goodness. Well, we are fighting against pedophilia, I think, since AP, since the 80s, at least. 70s,
I would
80s.
say since the 70s, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. So this was horrible. That was some weeks ago, yeah, right? This daycare center who wanted to introduce those touchy-feely rooms. And I actually didn't follow it up. I don't know if AP or maybe Madeleine know exactly what happened. I think it was shut down, you're right. But they're still working on it. In Germany, Germany is a cesspit. If it comes to pornography and violence against women and pedophilia, um, what's it called? Oh no, prostitution. And yeah, we're fighting a lot. And there are quite some groups now who try to fight. And yet, I mean, they really, really try to push that agenda and to get the pedophilia framed as, you know, loving kids. And kids should have their own sexuality and have the right to discover their own sexuality. So that's right. Yeah, that's happening at the moment. AP, do you want to add something?
I can't really add anything of value. So maybe Madeleine has a little bit more background or somebody else.
Okay, I tried to invite her. I don't know if she wants to speak today, but I can invite her.
I can speak about my experience as an English woman that
Okay.
lived in Germany. I was married to a soldier in Germany in the late 80s. And the porn that was available, there was in the English porn, you didn't have men with erections. There was never a naked man shown on television. And in the German porn, there was the porn was a lot more graphic, photograph close up of penetration and things like that, which you never saw in English porn. And the video porn that was around was the same, you know, very close focus in on penetration. And again, this was during the time that video recorders had become more commonplace and that people would play videos at home. So my take on it, not only was generally German TV much more had less rules about what it could put on television, the same applied to the porn. And I've met a few women that have quite, mind you, then again, I've met women in every country that or from every country that have terrible, what's his names, with guys from every country. But I would, from my perspective, it appeared that the German men's sexuality was given more free rein in Germany than it was in England via porn and what they were allowed to show on television.
Yes, definitely. And they really push it here. I mean, with the self-ID law that is going to be passed like soonish. We don't know. Took another step forward. I mean, our legislation is like I try to cut it short. Um, the they have an idea of what kind of thing they want to, what kind of bill they want to introduce, right? And then it has to go through a process in order to become uh, um, a proper um, bill, basically. And then it goes through different, um, what's it called? Um, uh, Through different steps in the process. And there are three, they vote on it 3 times, and then they talk, and then they vote again, and then they talk, and then they vote again. And it has to pass the 3 votes. And if then the Bundestag decides, okay, we want this, I think it's the Bundestag, right? Um, then it's, like, it's done. And we are in the situation that it's now in the government, like, have to decide about it. They have to go through this process of introducing it, voting on it, and like, that kind of thing. I don't know if I made it very clear. It's a bit of a difficult process. And anyway, so, well, if you ask me, it will be coming. I can't see that the people who are responsible for it will be able to be stopped by anything. They're not listening to us.
Yeah, I just let that. I'm assuming we're having a women only space, so I've just kicked a bloke out that
Good.
I know. Oh, good, that's fine. I was just double checking. Yeah, and
Yeah.
in reference to them not understanding, now Sasha and I agree on some things. I'm not a rad femme, and I don't need separatism in my life, but I want there to be something for the women of the future to go to. In reference to them not listening to her, Sasha taught. One of my things is that the more, like, I can afford to be extreme, there's very little they can take away from me. So I can be quite mouthy, I can swear, I can be insulting and stuff like that. And it's not, the impact on my relationship isn't a problem for me. People that follow me or listen to me might sometimes feel, yeah, I don't want to follow you, you're too extreme. But the thing is, if we want, people always run to the middle. Yeah. Well, where is our middle? Our middle has got something to do where our extremes are. So more like talking about sort of more extreme direct action that hurts the actual people running it. Now, the original suffragettes talked about non-violent direct action. And I was learning this from Soph Francis recently about the suffragettes in the UK, in England and the UK. They went and did things like put acid on golf courses, to burn away the grass and things like that. Things that attack the centre of their comfort zones. And I thought, well, actually, that golf course thing is pretty good for the idea of something like creosote, not acid because that's dodgy, but something like, creosote. And then, yes, there will be fines and things like that if you get caught, but something that it's harder to ignore. Yeah, they don't listen to us. Why is that? Because we politely ask for something, and when they say no, we go away with our tail between our legs and say, well, that was hard, rather than going, fuck you, I'm not taking this. I'm not taking this no. I am going to do A, I'm going to do B, I am going to do C. And I'm going to keep doing that until you do listen, because women are the ones that pay the price for your mistakes. And these men don't understand that. They're not going to listen to us, I don't think. So I'm 58. There's no way I'm going to be running around doing any extreme action shit. But this is where I think we miss a beat with our younger warriors. We've forgotten that women can be warriors. We've stopped allowing them to be warriors. We've stopped allowing our strong women to help us in the ways that they can help us, as though we're saying, oh, you can't physically protect us because you're a woman. Don't be ridiculous. I want our young warrior women to take that passion and that energy, all that stuff that we no longer have at our ages, and we want things to be peaceful and calm because of our ages. But when I was younger, you know, I would have been in the sort of fight that Sasha wants. And Sasha's, if I get this right, lesbian, radfem, separatist. And I'm not going to agree with Sasha on everything, and I might not always like the varying languages. But if you listen and you can get past the use of language that you might not like, and try to, if we can all, try to find the strength in the other person's role and personality types. Hi, sorry, Sasha, talking about you there. Sorry about that. Just
No worries.
Well, at least Sasha was there and she can answer.
No worries. I know that for the most part, um the reason I am the way that I am is because I noticed throughout, like, just me getting older in my time in activism, I noticed that women who are a lot more moderate are being told by the general public that they're very extreme, that they are regressive, and that they're this, that, and the other thing. And so these women begin to doubt themselves, and they shift away from activism, and they feel like they have to do this self-reflection because they think what they're saying is wrong when it's not. And so when I come along and they see that there's someone that's actually very radical and actually very extreme, like, I don't mind calling myself an extremist, and they see that and they're like, wait a minute, well, look, at she's doing that stuff over there, what I'm doing is not that extreme. And the way to do this is that I like to incorporate the points that I make with, and a lot of the truth, like a lot of the global truths about women's experience, into my extremism, so that, like, even though it's off-putting to a lot of people, they'd be like, well, she's right about this, well, she's right about XYZ. And then they'll be more willing to listen to not just me, but their own intuition. Because I noticed, like, a lot of this gender ideology bullshit came about by teaching women to doubt themselves and doubt their own intuition. And so that's why I will live and die a radical.
I'm actually trying to get the young women on board, but I can't tell you how difficult that is. I mean, there are some now. Um, well, I would call Roxy young, but that's from my perspective. Roxy isn't even that young. Do you know what I mean? I want the younger ones, and they're hardly to be seen. Unfortunately, we try to attract them. We are open for it, but at the moment, it rests on our old arms, shoulders. Unfortunately, more or less. I hope that the younger ones, I keep inviting them, and I keep finding ways to um, get them get get them into the spaces and to the live events in order to get to know us. But I can tell you, just in Berlin, it's so difficult. A young woman tries to do something, and the older women have got the idea of how it should work, and they put so much pressure on them that it really is. Ugh, it's disgusting. So it is difficult, and I'm on it. We are on it as the L Squad. Um, thank you very much, Cheryl, and then.
Hi, can you hear me? I'm not sure if my speaker just died then.
Yeah, it's fine. Cheryl.
Wonderful, wonderful. Um, such a relevant point. Um, okay, so there was a poll in Australia in the last couple of days, and what it highlighted was that people 35 and under, 28%, their primary vote, Greens, the heartland of the TRA. Could you imagine the future for women and children if they actually take over? I mean, it was the Labor Party in Australia who brought all of these in and took away all of women's and children's safeguarding. But you know, there's known pedophiles associated with the Greens, and I'm sure that that would be the case in a lot of countries around the world. So it's a terrifying thought. So everything that you've just said, 100% relevant. And, you know, the alarm bells should be ringing all over the world. You know, we get so distracted by the two major parties and their agendas, and there are definite agendas. Even the Play Centre is an agenda. I'm not sure if it was Brave New World that it was referred, like that was even depicted in, or what it was. I'm not. I'm certainly not a lady who is well read and knows all the different
Probably
philosophies and what the
1984, probably.
yes, could be. Both of those books I read at school. I think I read Brave New World in '79, something like that. I don't know. It was in high school anyway. But um, what you're saying about the young people are just so indoctrinated from the schools, but also the ones who've graduated and who are into the diversity managements in corporations, in government. It's just enforced throughout the majority of their adulthood and childhood. So where are we going to be in 5 years' time, 5 years' time, when it's no longer almost a third of the vote, but it's actually the majority of the vote? It's a terrifying prospect. So how do we get through? Obviously, we've got to get into government and get these policies changed in law. It's the policies that are enforcing this. Every bit of activism we do, 100%, it all counts, and the awareness in every conversation we have. But you know, we can go and protest at the schools, we can get onto the school boards, but when the policy says men can go into little girls' showers, a teacher, and that's the school policy, and there's nothing can be done to change that. You know, we have to change the policies. So, how do we do that? I'm not sure. You know, apart from all of the leafletting, the get to know your candidates, get the awareness. Most women don't take that much of an interest in politics, but it's vital. But how do we get through to the young ones and not turn them away with all the slanderous names we've been labelled, especially us older ladies? Because we're insignificant in society anyway. There's been many studies that say we just get ignored once we especially hit our 50s. So I don't know. I've been thinking about that. I mean, all these wonderful different, you know, even talkbacks that like Kelly J has got, and we've got Turf Talk in Australia and all these different ones around the world. It's all great. And the different detransitioners that are getting up there are hugely influential. We have to have some young, strong, brave, like what Spikey and Sasha are talking about, but really personable, influential young people who are willing to do these. Obviously, you've got issues with regards to privacy, and they would need to be able to converse with children. So all the legal things would have to be investigated, but maybe an anonymous talkback for kids so that kids can start hearing other kids talk about what's happening in the schools, what's happening in their families, what's happening with their friends, all the stress and anxiety they feel about, you know, their friends taking these drugs. And, you know, when they might suspect that there's sexual abuse going in their home, or that they're just gay kids, or that they've had some type of trauma in their life, or they might have you know, be on the spectrum, or something. You know, they have concerns about their friends too. It's how do we get the kids talking about it, and the young women talking about, you know, the porn epidemic, and how they're just sexualized in every inch of their day. You know, I don't know the answers to all these things, but I love that you're bringing it up. I love that you're talking about it, because to me, in my mind, we are on the edge with the indoctrination that's gone on for the last couple of generations. They're all going to be taking the positions of power. We have to get in government, but we need to bring the kids. We've got to separate that environmental vote from the stench of queer theory and gender ideology. We have to paint every politician who's, you know, we have to smear this stuff on them, because they have other issues that they piggyback into government on as well. Thanks. Thank you so much for talking about this.
Thank you very much, Sasha. One second, please. Um, I want to talk about the political situation in Germany, how I perceive it at the moment. We've got a problem that people frame us as right, right? Okay. So we've got this party who is basically fascist. They have got a lot of fascist ideas. We've got this party here that's called the AfD, and they are absolutely off limits. But they are uh, they are getting stronger and stronger by the minute due to two ideas. One is the migration, and secondly, it's the um, self ID, right? So, people who are disappointed by the Greens, the left, the SPD, who are the socialists, um, and the FDP, who are in government at the moment, um, they are basically, I think, they're not democratic anymore. What's happening if it comes to, at least if it comes to the self-ID law, they're doing whatever they like. They don't listen to anybody. They smear us. They diss us. They are absolutely nasty towards women, right? Even from people in the government, they go unpunished when they post post threats to us, when they post ideas of we should get killed, right? They call us turfs and. So for me personally, I can't vote neither for the Greens nor the left nor the socialists nor the FDP, and I can't vote for the AfD, who are fascists outright. So there are quite some women who are so fed up with the one migration politics and with the self ID, and nobody, not even the Christian Democrats, not even the Conservative Party, the only remaining Conservative Party, not even they know what a woman is. They don't. They don't take it seriously. They do not want to listen. They do not want to ask us what's going on, what are your concerns, nothing like that. So there is no, and I mean no, party left in Germany. For me, as a, I used to call myself a lefty. I couldn't be more left, but I don't say left anymore, or I try to not to say that anymore. I'm a human being, and I'm a humanist. And any party who is not, who any party who doesn't um, have humanistic ideas of people can travel and live wherever they want. People in need support and all that kind of values. I can't vote for. So now I'm there, and I can only listen to women who say, I'm going to vote for the fascists because they are the only ones who know what a woman is. And they don't understand. They do not understand that by voting for the fascists, they will get more of the same, just in a different way. We will be, we will be not allowed to speak, not allowed to breathe and to be with them either. But this framing goes so far that we can't talk in our circles anymore. If I say something or other that 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 the fascists say, like a woman is a woman, then immediately the reaction of former uh, people who I've been with, they call us like right women. We are slipping to the right, just because we say, no, 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 stop, right? Okay, stop here. Of course, I don't vote for the fascists. What the fuck? I'm here to defend our democracy. But the framing started already because women do not want to say what's true, and they don't want to fight. Some of them don't want to fight what's happening because they've got friends, they've got alliances with people who are, like queer or trans, and so they say, oh no, well, no, maybe not so strong, check your language. And no, I'm not checking my language anymore. If a lesbian doesn't know what a woman is, if a lesbian tells me, um, uh, um, I don't, I don't look in the pants to know if I've got a woman there or a man. I don't do that. I say, you are rubbish. Thank you. Goodbye. Right? Because that's where I am at the moment. I'm not having this bullshit anymore. And so, I mean, sorry, that's the situation here. So for the young women who we all have been young at some point, and we know that we can be very energetic in putting our power behind an idea, but we don't quite know how to do it yet. And we are still moldable when we're younger. We haven't got the clear vision necessarily, right? And I think that's the problem, that it is so difficult to get to the young women because there's so much framing. You are in cahoots with right wingers. If you tell a young woman, this woman, Ed Squad, is in cahoots with right wingers, they will not come, right? And that's the framing that happens too. So we really got a problem here. Uh, Sorry, that was a bit long, but I wanted to try to give you an idea of what's going on in the German communities, because we don't know who to vote for anymore. We haven't got. This is a country where I don't think that democracy is really, 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 really the democracy it used to be. And I'm very scared, and that's due to my age, probably, because I'm almost 62, and I've been fighting against fascism and all kinds of isms all my life. And it's an insult when people tell me I have moved from that perspective. And it happens. Unfortunately, it does. So thank you very much for listening to me. Um, Now, Sasha, and then P whatever, P the yellow one, and then red. Well, nice. Got a rainbow here.
I think the biggest issue, the disconnect between younger women and middle-aged women and older women, is that the context around older women has been very negative, especially around like the late 50s, where older women are always portrayed as witches and women with nefarious purposes and always having like evil intentions. And the way that we reach out to them is that they have to start seeing more women who are out there, who are trying to reach, them, and who are trying to talk to them and trying to share information and basically repairing that relationship. A lot of older women are not on social media the way that you are on social media. We need those women with those radical ideas. We need them making TikToks. We need them on YouTube. We need them on all of these like Snapchat platforms, all of these platforms where the young women are, because we're like, the TRAs are on there. They're on TikTok. They're on Snapchat. They're on YouTube, and they're making content consistently, sharing their ideals and making sure that women are hearing them and saying like, listen, you should be on our side because of XYZ. And there's no one to challenge that. There aren't many people who are there to challenge them. And we had Magdalene Burns, rest her soul, but we don't have anyone else who was really like on that level, who was willing to talk and willing to share her ideas, and basically like get on social media. And like for me, I'm more of a boots on the ground person. I'm still going to do my part on social media as much as I can. But like we need that person or those people who will sit there and talk and challenge these ideas by these TRAs and by these sex trade peddlers who don't have women's best interest at heart. And we need to also tell them the truth in a way that's digestible to them. And what I mean is, like, we unfortunately, in this age of social media, people have very short attention spans. So you have like 5 seconds to capture their attention and 15 seconds to make your point before they're moving on to the next thing. And so, like, there has to be people out there that's willing to do that. Boots on the ground and are and social media are just as important. They have equal importance, and they are how we reach these young women and girls. Because if we look at these OnlyFans peddlers specifically, they're on TikTok and they're telling these girls that OnlyFans is normal. They're telling them that prostitution and the sex trade is normal. And again, there's no one to challenge that. So if that's the only thing they're hearing and that's the only consistent messaging that they're getting, then they have no reason why they would arrive to any other conclusion outside of the ones that they're being spoon-fed, essentially. And so that's why I always try to reach out to the younger women on social media and then to just kind of pique them and try to get them to read like radical feminist literature or talk to them back and forth about their experiences in life and why certain things happen the way that they do. And that, I think that's how we reach them.
Yeah. Yeah, well, of course. Well, yes. And there's more to it, I think. It's really I don't know. It's not easy. I mean, I was young once, and there weren't so many older women. Like, I would say I'm kind of in that bracket now, um, who were an inspiration because, well, we act differently, don't we? I mean, the young ones, they are different. Of course they are. They should be. They better be, right? But I don't know. I wish I could be an inspiration for the younger ones so that they feel, um, okay, this old lady might be a bit of a nutter, but um, she's okay. She's doing the right thing, right? And I can tell you that last time there was a young woman who is now in our group or close to our group. She joined us because she saw the invite. Um, she saw the invite to our live stream on Instagram, and she came and she stayed. Um, you know, so I'm very happy. She's with us for a month now, and I think she will come back, and I'm very happy about that. So that's one young woman who can be a multiplicator, but it is difficult. Even yeah, I don't know, but you're right. We have to be on all the platforms. That's right. Um, yellow, yellow, please.
Hello, me?
Yes.
Yes? Yes. Hello. How are you guys?
How could we call you if not yellow?
You can call me
Yeah.
Slice. You can call me Slice or PM, as in
PM,
PM me or
PM.
Slice. Yeah.
That sounds lovely. Okay,
Okay.
PM. Shoot.
So, yeah, I'm 37 years old. So I'm a bit of like an older woman who's trying to remember and recall how I felt when I was young. When I was young, I already had like radical ideas in my heart. And I think, well, this is like what they are accusing us of being radical, right? You know, I was extremely pro-choice. I knew that, instinctually that prostitution was terrible, that porn is terrible. I didn't buy into any of that, liberal feminism stuff. And I would be enraged whenever I heard leftist men saying, we should have put a limit on abortion, for example. So what I wanted to say was, I think there are a lot of girls who were like me when I was young, who had these thoughts and feelings, but didn't feel safe to express them, like as was stated, because you would be accused, right, of being a feminazi, whatever. But more than that, the problem was I didn't feel there were any women who I could trust with these feelings. And now this is kind of before the internet really took off. So I think what's cool is that we have much more ability to connect to each other with the internet. Like, I mean, like Google existed back when I was in high school and college, but it still was quite not the same as it is now. Like, social media was still just kind of starting out, right? But what I wanted to say was, like, thinking about solutions, is that there are a lot of girls who, like I said, it's not that we're indoctrinated, we just don't feel safe to communicate what we feel. And we also, it's just, and the thing is, the systematic structures that we live in, it's overwhelming. It's literally overwhelming. So a lot of us are just trying to survive, and we don't have the energy to try it, to speak out at all. It brings up all the abuse. It brings up every part of the 10,000 cuts that you've experienced of misogyny and just that the system that disregards women. I tell people often that it's the other side of misogyny that really sucks, is that it's not that there's sexism, but there's also this erasure of women's collective history and our collective voices and our collective achievements. And so we always are feeling like we are weak because we're not elevated in history. Our inventions are not celebrated. So we believe that we're small, and it's really important, I think, for us to push back on that and say, actually, a huge number of things were invented by women. Women have accomplished so much. Men are actually completely, they're lost without us in so many ways. And so that's one thing. And then the other thing I want to say, and you guys might not like this, but I feel very fortunate that I live in a country where I have some pretty strong self-defense rights. So, like, I can carry pepper spray, I can carry taser, which I have, and I also own firearms. And what I've noticed, another big part of it is that women are constantly bargaining, especially in countries where they don't have the same self-defense rights. They're bargaining with their safety all the time. And many, many women have made this devil's choice. For them to feel safe, they have to be with men. They have to have a man near them so they can be safe with other men. And I think for me, what I wish I had, what I had as a seed inside of me, which I couldn't express until I was older, was this feeling and this need and this truth that we women need to absolutely start collectively protecting each other at this level that we are just not doing. And I mean, like, we need to start forming protective groups, forming our own defensive, I'm going to say it, militias. And I know that's like super radical for some of you because you're in Europe, but it's like, we need to be able to, that needs to be expressed. It needs to be named that we are so unsafe in the public sphere because of men, and that we need to start offering different alternatives. We need to be able to protect each other. Does that make sense? Like, we have rape shelters, I know, but that's, by that point, you've already been abused, right? You know, it's that doesn't help. You've already been severely harmed if you're going to a domestic violence shelter or a rape shelter, right? So we need to start being able to, but then again, it's like really hard. It's really, really hard to admit just how unsafe you are. That first step is really hard, because everyone's like, oh, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. But you're really not. You're on guard all the time. You're scared. You're feeling like you have to, you know, watch your back all the time. And then it's just something you're carrying all the time with you, all the time. And it sucks. And we got to give name to that. And I found that in my discourse talking to younger women, they actually really appreciate the opportunity to say that, to be like, yeah, I want a firearm. Yeah, I want a pepper spray. I want to be able to defend myself, and to not feel ashamed or wrong for that. So that's just my 2 cents. Thanks.
Thank you very much. I mean, as you said, as a German, I have got a bit of a problem with firearms. We grew up in a country where there are no firearms allowed, and I think it is better that way, to be honest, because once there's a weapon involved, it can be put against you, used against you. But I know that other people look at it in a completely different way, but they try to change. That's one thing they do as well. They want to change the self-defense laws and introduce. There are, like people who want that, and thank goodness it's not happening, because it would be the right wingers who will get guns, would get guns. So I don't know. And though I have to admit that sometimes I think I could do with a bit of shooting practice in order to just learn it, if ever I need to be able to do it. Um, I don't know. I wouldn't carry a gun, but you know what I mean? It feels like it makes sense somehow.
If I lived in America, I would carry, and I can shoot. I grew up in the military,
I can
and
believe that.
and I know that, like, say with the separatists, if they ever manage to get anything together and get land together, red femme separatism, whatever anyone wants to call it, but for women, yeah, if you want to keep men out of that, you need the capacity to defend your space. And my experience is, defending your space from men when they decide they want what's inside your space. If you ain't got a gun, or you ain't got some serious axe, you're going nowhere. Look at my emblem. Look at my thing. That's a Labrise. It's a double-sided axe. It swings in defense and attack, both sides. Yeah. Our warriors, our Labrise warriors, are the women that will protect the enclaves that we can build. We do our warrior women a disservice by not allowing them to show their aggression, their passion. Yeah. And, it's different. I live in England, there's no guns here. There's none of that. But I know damn well, if we have somewhere, if we build something, it will need defending from the men. Yeah, and I've had no problem standing up to men. I fought with men. I've hit men. I grew up fighting boys. It never really stopped much. And I know, yeah, when there's a fucking door between the two of you, on my flat, that man had no problems kicking that door in. He had no problems putting his hand around my throat and strangling me until I was unconscious. Okay? I was fine. My partner was there. She got him off and all that crap. But the point is that any one woman that thinks she's going to defend herself against men, it will be more than one if we have an enclave that come for us, that men that want to get inside and get to us. Yeah. If you haven't got the capacity to shoot a gun at a man, then I think it's highly unlikely you'll be defending it. You know, you'll have your enclave for very long. And I know that sounds like an awful thing to say, but I think it's realistic. Like I said, I grew up amongst, you know, the most hierarchical kind of like male macho-ness you can imagine. I do know men relatively well, good and bad ones, but that man can just wipe your shit away like you were a feather, if he's that determined. So yeah, I kind of get where PM Slice is coming from, and I just want our women to be, you know, I want our women to be able to be the warriors that they are. You know, we're not this. It's like motherhood has become something that's about wiping your feet on motherhood. You know, a mother is a doormat for everybody to wipe her feet on. That's not woman. That's something that's created by men, and they've sold it to us, and we fucking bought it. And we're not protecting our children. We're throwing them into the fucking machine because we're too scared to stand up to the machine, because the machine and everyone that believes it is going to tell us how terrible we are. And our children are all going to grow up to be broken because we didn't go with the flow. The radicalness that is needed is not something that I have the capacity for. But I look to our youngers, and I know their passion, and I know their desperate desire to protect women. You know, many of us lesbians have carried that with us for the longest time, and we've seen those protections that we thought we had be fucking taken away. So we're at war. Make no mistake.
Oh, thank you for that passionate, those passionate words. Um, so
I just
now,
wanted to say
Red.
thank you. I just wanted to say thank you, Spikey. That was really well said. Thank you. I always feel nervous saying this in a group of people who aren't American, and I know that people have strong feelings about firearms, but that's
Yeah,
what I say, even with, you know, like non-lethal weapons like um, pepper spray and tasers. These things are absolutely essential against men. We just cannot match them. We can't. And when you have a group of them and they're intent on barging into your house or any space or any activist group that you have to be able to defend yourself. It's just fact. And I think, and it is really, really hard because it's like a spell that we have over ourselves about just sort of like not looking at the elephant in the room, that they have a monopoly on strength and violence globally, not just because they socialize us away from our own natural aggression, which we do have, but they also they have the physical brutality. They just do. It's just a fact. And women, we all know it, and then we're like walking around feeling completely, the other women not acknowledging it first and foremost is like we're feeling completely dismissed in our own gut feelings, you know? So we have to be able to say, you know, yeah, your fears are valid, and we need to be real about our rights to self-defense, because otherwise they'll take everything from us if we can't defend ourselves. Facts. We could we could become Afghanistan. Like, it's totally possible. We have to have women who are willing to fight to the death to stop that. I'm serious. I'm not kidding. So anyway, thank you.
oh my God. Um, okay. I hear you, and actually, I mean, yes, I appreciate what you're saying, and I don't expect anything else from Americans. But actually, we Germans, we have got a completely different attitude, and many of us German women want to fight in a women's way, which means by convincing people, being strong in a different way than the men, you know, like killing off adversaries. So this is cutting it short. I want Red to talk, and then my two German sisters, Comrade Velozzi and AP, will have to say something. I am quite convinced of that. Okay, so Red.
Hi, I actually the discussion moved in a completely different direction from what I had to say in the beginning, but can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so um About the violence bit, yeah, I come from a conflict zone, so I've seen a lot of it growing up, and it's going on as we speak right now in one of the states from my region. And what I've seen is violence breeds more violence. It never actually, the condition of women in conflict region is very bad, and it's not just because of gender-based violence, but it's also because so much of the work that women put in the society, in their families, everything gets decimated because of gun culture. So the gun culture that we call it here, it's not. It does not really. You also do have, like, you have all these militants, and you have women also taking up arms, so they're trained. But that does not mean that the larger society becomes um, great for women, or girls, so the violence becomes part of your everyday, and it becomes a very different kind of a society you have. And it's again with a lot of guns, you'll also have the culture of drugs. I somehow it just goes hand in hand, like conflicts and completely like arms trade and drug trade. And then um, you have women human trafficking, so a lot of women being used in these camps so they all come in a package. So it is actually important to move away from, even though it's very hard to imagine that, and I kind of relate to the anger and the need for women being very practical about their safety. But a lot of the evidence points in the other opposite direction, that use of violence, even when women use pepper sprays or tasers, etc. The men, because they're more they're stronger, they're in a position to basically use it against you, which also makes it even more, when it's one-on-one combat, it becomes all of that dangerous and stuff. And yeah, that's one part. And the other thing, when we're talking about like earlier discussions on about the trans issue, trans activism, the radical trans activism. Recently, actually, there was a lot of. I just came across the letter yesterday. The UN Special Rapporteur for violence against women. There was a organized effort to basically drag her through muck because she was standing up for the rights of women. And I think you should take a look at it. Whoever hasn't, she has been speaking up against how men identifying as women are also violent against women. And a lot of organizations, including AVID, AWID, and a list of, I don't know how many signatories, were trying to basically boycott her, publicly call her out, and say that whatever she was doing was harmful. Her name is Reem Al-Salem, I think. And I just saw she's what I'm like what Sasha was talking about. If you need influencers, we need people in positions of power to take this position that violence against women, it has to be not just like
they're totally able to get away with it, because if you've got a GRC, even if you don't have a GRC, you're not allowed to ask them if you've got a GRC. They don't have to divulge because they're protected under the Equality Act. They're protected under protected characteristic. They're protected as the fact that they are in transition. No, not under. They shouldn't be protected as regards checking for making sure that somebody is safe to go into a school, that or a community group or a young people's, LGBT organization. Everyone should be able to be checked. 5 years, check. 5 years, do you have any criminal kind of behaviors? And it's coming out now that many people.
It's actually 7 years in the courts.
Oh, 7 years in Southern. It's 5 years here, but anyway, no, I'm saying, like, looking at past addresses is 5 years. Looking at my, if I had any criminal record, that would be on record forever, right? That should be the case. I'm happy enough for that to be the case. I'm happy for anyone to check me before I go in and teach or facilitate. I facilitate poetry, and I've done intercultural work with kids and with adults. I'm happy enough for anybody to check me. That's the way it should be. That should always be the case. I don't care who you are, what kind of sexuality you have, whether you're trans or non-trans. Don't give a shit. Really don't give a shit. I just want people to be checked before they go in to any school, any fucking community, any contact with children. That's safeguarding 101. And all this secret keeping? No way. No fucking secret keeping. I'm having none of that either. Because that is actually safeguarding 101. No secrets. I cannot keep your secret. That's the very first thing you learn. It's the very first thing you learn in your training. You cannot promise a child that you can keep their secret. There is no way you can do it. And you have to say, I'm really sorry. When they say, can you keep secret? You say, no, I'm really sorry. I can't do that. But I can promise you that I will help you. That's the way it works. That is 101.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, it really is, though. Jesus.
Have you finished? Then it's Cheryl's turn.
I have. Sorry, I was on
Oh,
a
okay. No,
rant
no.
there, wasn't
It's fine. I just didn't want to
it?
stop
I'm
you.
sorry.
Stop you.
No, I was on a wee. What? Yeah.
Yeah, I know that one. Anyway, Cheryl, and then Melissa, and then CJ.
Belfast, that was pretty much the description you just gave then is pretty much what Gillian spoke about in the Spotlight Australian interview, our psychiatrist who's been suspended and is bravely speaking out. When the Minister for Health and the Minister for Women won't even meet with her. And there are so many medical professionals who have raised their concern and signed their name to it, and they will not acknowledge it. But same thing that you're saying, the way that it used to be wasn't, they're enforcing gender affirmation model only when children present. And it used to be what you said, which is of course common sense and just the way that the medical profession used to be, when presented with that they're not, and I'm not a medical person, that you don't affirm what the child is, but you do say, that they will be there and give support, for what they're experiencing. But at no point do you say, oh yes, that's possible, or assist and enable the child to go down that journey, or an adult for that matter. So everything that you just said just rings so similar with what I have heard health professionals say, and of course educators, and you've obviously got experience in that field. So that's wonderful. But it is overwhelming to look at the people who are in our governments and what policies they've brought in and where they're standing. And you just think, oh my God, there's just evidence, there's overwhelming evidence, there's so many studies done. We all know all of this, and they're still not listening. How can this be? And then I was in a space a couple of days ago, and with a lot of people from the US, and they were talking about the different political parties over there, and what's happening, and what is going to happen between now and their election, which I think is next year. And somebody sent me a document afterwards. I don't know who sent it. One of the hosts just said somebody in the group sent it to me because I was asking questions about that, and it seems that you've got these, just in that particular country, these two really major parties that have just got this long history of deep, deep pockets and people in the party. And they sent me this document of how to get, to uproot the left that have taken hold in different places over there. All this huge amounts of people that they've networked to put together candidates in different areas, and all the funding and all the support that they're going to give each one of those in the lead up to it. And I just thought, oh my God, I think it was an article from the Washington Post that they had sent. So it had a slant on it either way. But all I'm trying to highlight is that these men in politics, because it's big money, it's big power, and for all the different, the hands in the pocket that they've got going on with different companies and corporations to make their money, and it's generational. They are prepared, they're networked, and they've got all the different departments and different resources at their disposal. Us women, we have to start looking at what we're up against, the depth of it, and we're doing everything that we can. We're bringing the awareness and all of that, but we really have to, at the end of the day, if we really want to make a difference, it's about shifting these people out of power and inserting people in power who are going to pass laws that actually consider the safeguarding and rights of women and children. And to do that, we do have to come together. We do have to, look at the schools, women and girls. Girls are outperforming men and boys in so many different areas for whatever reasons across education. We've got the minds, we've got the intellect, we've got the women out there. Yes, they're still trying to break through into higher positions of influence in different areas, but we've got them there. We have to network worldwide. We have to come together, resource sharing, like they do with the different cases, in the different countries. I know that they share and they look into the different defenses in different things, and they share when they study the education system in the different countries, the policies and all of that. We have to share the political know-how as well. We have to network with the women who work in admin in politics, the women in the public service. I know everybody is bound by the code of conduct, and I'm not asking people to betray their job in that area. But when it comes to, just like they do in politics now, they background people, they get to know their opposition, they get to know what they're dealing with. This isn't my area of expertise, but this is what I see. This is what I see we're up against. I see when I read articles like that, when I see the immense power and resources these people have got. But we are smart. There are more of us, and we can do this, but we do have to get organized.
Thank you very much. CJ.
Hi, you guys. I wanted to I did share in the comments a tweet thread from some guy named Jonathan Zachrison. I wanted to bring up California because California has a lot of stuff going on to do with the basically parents' rights at this point. So one thing they did this week is the Senate in California passed a law that increases the definition, I guess, of abuse or neglect in terms of family court, and not affirming a child's gender is now considered abuse or neglect that can lead to children being taken away. And then additionally, though, some good news in the comment thread that I just shared are some great videos showing a school board meeting in a district in California. And I think there are 4 or 5 that have done this so far, where the school board has passed a parental notification requirement, meaning that, you know, any child who is socially transitioning at school, it has previously been okay for the teacher to keep it secret. And we were talking about secrets, so I thought this was apt. But 4 or 5 school districts now have passed a ruling that say that they have to notify parents. So it's encouraging. Unfortunately, the AG of the state, the Attorney General, has filed an injunction against one of the school districts. So they've temporarily blocked this new policy. But the parents of California are just, they are peaking hard, all over, left, right, and center. You can see it in every comment to the AG, because he has been like saying this is a win that they blocked this parental notification. But anyway, I just thought that was very important. And some of the videos are great from this school board meeting. You've got some wonderful speakers. You've got some crazy speakers on the other side that just demonstrate how insane this ideology is, and all of the different facets of it and consequences. And then some videos where you can see like one of the activists on a bullhorn shouting about trans rights, and the parents just drown them out with leave our kids alone. So I just wanted to share that in case anybody is interested. It was really promising for me. It was encouraging for me to see parents really standing up and supporting their children this way. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I don't know who's next. Melissa, I think, and then Sasha. Is that right?
I didn't
Oh,
see.
yeah.
I put my hand up when I heard the previous speaker. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw this out there. There is no political. Women have to do this. There is no political party, there's no Democrat, no Republican, no independent, no liberal, no conservative that is going to look out for women's interests the way women are going to look out for women's interests. Women are the only social group that does not have a special interest political lobby to advocate on our behalf. We need an international women's political lobby. We need a cohesive cohesive political group that focuses exclusively on women's interests to protect them in the greater international landscape. We have to have, I'd say, five to 10 core tenets that we all generally agree on, and have that be put to the forefront, because we are politically invisible right now. Women have no political visibility. We have no way of which to bargain in within our societies. Look at how in Australia these women cannot organize without the presence of a scrote creature. And if a scrote creature says that he's a woman, that he self IDs as a woman, they have to let him in, or they risk fines. They risk fines and the dissolution of their groups by the government, pursuit by TRAs, and harassment, because they don't want to let these degenerates in women's groups. So in order for us to have this political visibility, we have to start organizing for women's lobby groups. We this is a necessity at this point. We are navigating the most hostile political landscape that we have ever navigated in recent times. We are seeing an unprecedented rollback in women's rights, and the only way that we can confront it is if we ourselves organize bargaining power. Otherwise, we will never have a say, and we might as well, buy our frocks and the little things that we wear on our heads and start acting out the Handmaid's Tale, because it's all over.
Yeah, unfortunately. Melissa, and then Belfast and Belfast.
I think it was Melissa first. Did you want to go ahead? Or not? Yeah, I was just going to agree with Sasha. We do need a women's party. Not that I hate men. Not that I, have any problem with them. I just think that, as Sasha says, we do need a political party that will work on our behalf. This is something that we need, because in every country that I've spoken to women in Germany, Spain, Japan, China, Australia, New Zealand, America, and they don't seem to feel supported by their politicians. Even the women who are in political positions are feeling like they can't actually speak for the women that they are representing. It's a problem. And so, yeah, we need a women's party. Um, I know that there are certain people who are creating women's parties, but we need to vote for them. Um, we need to support them. Um, that's going to be an interesting kind of dynamic when it comes to it. Because I know in the UK there's a couple of women. There's maybe one particular woman who is sporting a political party. Um, but we need that. We need a global women's party. We need global women's representation, because even the women who are in political power are having trouble. Um, because you look at is it Rem Halim, and she was like the UN um representative of the women, and she did you hear her? Did you hear her speeches in the DRR in Scotland? I listened to them, um, and she's speaking for the UN. But your man Victor Madrigal came in and went, you know nothing, blah blah blah. I'm going to take over from this. He came in and completely spoke over her, and she's the woman that I would look to. I would love her to stand. I think she'd be a wonderful person to stand as someone that we could actually that would actually represent women in the EU. Um, I think it's important. I think any woman standing is important, because all I see at the moment is women standing, and scared to speak their own minds. They're just speaking the blather. They're just speaking the blather of what somebody else wants them to say. I've never seen a woman standing up and going, "Hey, I'm just going to say this, regardless of what anyone thinks." I'm thinking of standing myself, but the red tabloids would probably go mad if I did. It would be quite funny. Um, thinking about it.
Okay, just a quick information. Um, we are tired. It's 12 o'clock, or a bit later. No, it's almost 12 o'clock. Okay, I want to finish. It's 20 minutes to 12. AP and I have to finish because you want to see us tomorrow, fit as as we can
Fiddle,
be.
fiddle. Have you got a live
Sorry?
stream? Where's the live stream?
The live stream is gonna be on Instagram, and I just figured out I want to try to do a live stream parallel to the Instagram stream. I want to do a parallel YouTube stream. I don't know if it works. It's a test, and I hope it will work. So Instagram is safe to join tomorrow. That worked last month. But I try to do
You're
YouTube
going to
as
make
well.
me join Instagram again. Oh,
Sorry?
Yeah, God.
What did you
but
say?
look, I said you're going to make me join Instagram again.
Oh
I
yeah,
have to go
Belfast.
and look at Instagram for you.
If,
Holy
if it's
smokes!
just for
Do it on
me,
YouTube too.
please.
Honestly, do it.
You,
Do it. You're going to be able to do it. I
you
hope
don't,
so.
Belfast, you don't have to do anything. You just join Instagram. You don't follow anyone.
No, but I have
You
to. I
you
have to.
follow me. Okay, you follow me, and then when I'm online, you can see me. Okay. life and
I was being
colorful as I
sarcastic.
am.
I apologize. I absolutely want to follow you and want
But
to see what you're doing.
Belfast is like me. We tend to make. I don't know why we prefer YouTube a bit easier, because I don't know why I go on YouTube. I drop into the chat bar, say hi to everybody, and
Well,
then we listen
yes,
to all the speeches. So
I
YouTube for me is like the simple version. Instagram is a foreign language to me still. I've got an
absolutely.
Instagram account, but oh my God, it does my head in.
I
Especially
feel
it's the
you.
same
I
for.
never figured out how it works. It's for me a book with. I don't
I don't
even
feel.
No, all
know
I do
the
on Instagram is
language.
like share my mental
No,
cue.
but
I share
I
I share
I
like
I
mental
don't
things.
I don't like Instagram, but I kind of figured it out. And when I looked it up, I got the impression that I cannot do 2 hours of live stream on YouTube because I have got such a little number of followers. Maybe I got that wrong. I will try
Oh,
tomorrow.
you know what?
No,
So
no, you
I
have
could,
to have 50
I
followers,
could, I have a
right?
lot
You
of
I
have to
have,
have 50
followers.
followers. So maybe,
sorry, I can't hear a thing if three people are speaking. But
sorry,
can one please
what I was going to say to
explain?
you, what I was going to say to you is you need 50 followers at least in order to live stream. I think it's 50 for um any sort of company. I think if I wanted to live stream, I think it's 50 followers or I know that the ladies in Canada asked us to try and share, and they got like 150. I think they've got to 200, nearly 300 now. Um, and so you need a certain amount of followers to be able to live stream. Um, so hopefully, if you share, then maybe other people will support you and will be able
Yes,
to
please.
allow you
Please,
to
please.
live stream.
I just looked
Yeah.
it up. I've got 105, so that should be sufficient.
I wanted to say that I have almost 30,000 on Instagram. So what I can do is when you go live, just let me know the time and then just add me to the live, and it'll broadcast your live to my followers. That way more people can see it and you can get more followers on yours too.
Yeah, but thank you very
Definitely do
much. But
that.
Sasha, it's German. That will not be any good for your followers, will it?
No, but just share it with Tasha
People can
anyway.
use Translate.
Right.
And
But
also, there's a lot of global people that do speak German. So
Yeah, like it's a
you never
small
know.
amount. But it's like I have 2% of my following. It's not a lot, but 2% of my following is from Germany. So hopefully they will be the ones to see it. Um, but you know,
Is there like a live translate?
yes,
no,
Oh yeah, there's a live
Mom.
translate. Did you say yes, Sasha?
yeah. So like what they can do is they can go to Google Translate and then do the live translation. And as long as it's not like super muffled, they'll be able to see what's being said.
There you go, L Squad.
Oh my
Definitely
God,
get
I
in touch
didn't
with Sasha.
know.
Definitely
Okay,
do that.
so
Honestly, we're living in the fucking 21st century here. The way it works.
so Sasha, so you will have to join me. You will ask to be part in the Instagram, and then I accept you being there, and then you will be there with me.
Yes.
Is that right? Okay. I'm a bit no, well, for me that's all
No,
new.
you just have
So
to invite her. She'll ask to be invited, and if she joins you, then her 3,000 followers will be able to see you. It's great. Don't
oh
worry.
God.
I
Okay.
know. Isn't it
But the
crazy?
others
It's
will see you
wonderful.
as well. The others will see you being in the thingy as well, in the Instagram feed, like
In the
in the
thingy. It's in the thingy. What time is it tomorrow?
English technical, it's in the thing me.
the
It's
German
in the
time
thingy. What time tomorrow is it in the thingy?
at 2 p.m. at 2
2
p.m.
p.m.
in
So
German
that would be
in
1 p.m. for
Germany.
me.
That would be
Lunchtime for
1
me,
p.m. for
like 1
you.
p.m.
Yeah.
for me.
And
Okay.
for Sasha, I
Well,
don't know whereabouts are you, Sasha?
I'm in the US. I'm on Eastern Standard Time, but I'm pretty much up always. But if you tell me in advance, I'll be able to basically move my schedule around because I'm on strike.
so what time is it for you now, Sasha?
It's about 5:48, almost 6 o'clock.
5:48. So you are 5 hours ahead of us. Ahead?
Eastern time
Behind.
is 6 hours from German time.
So it's
Yeah,
6 o'clock
5 hours
and
for
it's
me.
12
I'm
o'clock
thinking. I'm
here.
just trying to work it out for me, and then I'll work it out for you.
No, just tell me the time, and I'll most likely be up because I'm working on a book, and I'm a little behind, so I'm just up all the time.
So
But
Eastern time, like
it's at
Florida
8
and
in the
everything,
morning.
that should be 8 o'clock.
That's
Yeah,
fine.
8 in the morning. Okay. So
Yeah,
I
and
will, yeah, I
I was
will
just going to
try
say
to
for
make
me,
sure that you get the link.
Oh, yeah, I followed
yeah,
you
and I
just
was,
now, so it should be in there.
Or have you joined me? If you joined my Insta, then you will be informed anyway.
Oh, that's right.
I just wanted to say that I think I'm likely to miss that bit tomorrow because my our youngest stepson's coming around. We haven't seen him for quite a while. So I might only be able to drop in for an early bit. Keep your fingers crossed because I'm really looking forward to that. And I love what just happened. I love that kind of like
Absolutely.
us learning and sort of like sharing
Exactly.
stuff. To me, it's magic.
E-
I was born in a pre-technological world. This is magic.
I was born in a pre-technological world, and I can tell you that Roxy will be by my side tomorrow, and I know she's savvy with Instagram, so there shouldn't be any problem. I am counting on her to support me. Um, fun fact, I put the, like I had the tripod there for the cameras, for the the cell phones, and Sasha, please, your mic.
Oops.
Um, I had the tripod there and the cat, and I wanted to put the cell phone in order to record. And then Roxy came along and she said, "What are you doing?" I put it in the wrong way, and I was, like, I thought, oh, I can never I can never navigate on the display because there is a thingy crossing it, like a piece of plastic. And she said, "What? Turn the camera around." I didn't even think of it. I did it more than once, and I was, like disappointed that it didn't work. And this young lady came along and she said, "Oh, stupid you, put it in a different way." And now I know how to do it. So Roxy was my savior in that respect. Oh, in many others. And so I'm very convinced that everything will be okay tomorrow because she's by my side. And we will have a lovely time, I can tell you that. So, Melissa.
Thank you. Sorry, I don't know if you called me earlier. I have five uh, college students, graduates, out in my back garden, and they're all deciding to go camping. So I ended up in my shed in the dark with a light, trying to get sleeping bags for them all, because we're minding our young boys here that are wide awake and are men and don't identify as anything other than men. I just wanted to come in from what Belfast said earlier. Belfast is north of Ireland. I'm coming from the south of Ireland. I've been working in community for 37 years, and what they're doing to our children is beyond belief. And there's many of us fighting and standing up and doing many different things down here, as Belfast is aware. Um, Good news came out today, Belfast, from Ireland, and I'd like to share it with all of you. Um, Lots of stuff has been done. We had a paedophile basically in Waterford for nearly 40 years that was abusing, and to my knowledge, abused over 200 boys. He only last year was put away of 6 men in their 50s, same age as I am at 52. So he would abuse all of them. Only 6 came forward. Then Another few came forward, 10 in all. There's 200 children that we're aware of. He was part of the Fianna Fáil political party, all his family, and there's an investigation now going to be opened up to the public in the south of Ireland next week, exposing all the Gardaí, all the political parties, all the bastards, excuse my language, and I don't apologise for my language. I'd say excuse my language if it upsets anyone, but I won't apologise for it, and neither should you, Belfast. We are Manana Éireann, and we're angry. And when you hit off our children, and they have been doing for years, and now it's been exposed, and it has been exposed from the Catholic Church too. And I am a Catholic. I believe in God. I just don't believe in the Catholic Church and what they covered up for years. And now there's a big investigation going on next week in Ireland of all the people that covered up to the nearly 200 boys that man of a political party of the south of Ireland, Fianna Fáilers, this is a start of an awful lot of corners. And something else came up yesterday, Belfast. I wanted to share it with you, that a Department of Justice man under Francis, who's an MEP, head little huncha over in the European Parliament of Ireland. He worked for her under the Department of Justice, has also been exposed. So I run a rally in Ireland and hope to bring it up to North Belfast, and you might be able to help us with that, with connections of Sound of Silence and exposing every corner. And as Belfast said earlier, trans men in women's jails in the likes of Limerick, where I'm originally from, you know, this ain't going to happen, lads. The women need to stand up. They're trying to take woman. They're having a referendum. Now they've just announced, actually, they're having 2 referendums to change the word woman and in the home, and that's really taken away the home from the children. And like Belfast said, I'm 37 years in volunteer work in Ireland, and during the start of the lockdown, even first responders were told to step down, that we weren't allowed bring someone back on the street as a first responder. And we had to get Garda vetting for every move I made. And we have people now going up for election and allowed vote for elections in Ireland that are illegal with no documents. We can see what they're doing. They're hijacking our elections again. I have been a standing elected person in Ireland from 2014 to 2019. I did visit Brussels. I saw the Sinn Féin party set up prostitutes for delegates going out. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. I have a lot to say. I have a book to write. And, let's keep just fighting for our children. And, we are the women of the world. And there is no man on this earth that didn't come out of a woman. And we won't be long reminding them of that, because none of them would be here if they didn't come out of a woman. And they're not allowed to take the word woman out of our constitution, which they are trying to do in November in Ireland, to actually remove the word woman. Not on our watch, ladies. Not on our watch.
Oh my God, yeah, they're trying that in Germany too. They have changed in our main, like your Webster's dictionary, we've got the Duden, and they have changed the word, what was it, AP? Feminismus? Feminism, wasn't it? I think they have changed feminism.
No,
So,
it's the
sorry, I was
feminists that actually
distracted.
pushed this. Like, I'm not a feminist. I love a man. I
No,
love.
no, no, no. But they plan on changing the word woman too.
Yeah,
I mean,
and in
they want to
Ireland,
do that.
the mother they want to change. We're all on the same agenda, lads. It's the one
Yeah,
agenda we are all on. And
yeah.
like, we're speaking to people all over the world and have been since about 20. I came out and public on the streets stood outside schools in 2019 in Ireland in 2019. It had passed through our parliamentary house, the sexual education for children, and no one knew about it in Ireland. No one knew. We stood outside schools I was standing for an election, and I am standing for election as an independent lone parent mammy. I am still standing. And yeah, I get an awful lot of trouble, and they bring me in and out of courtrooms for the last 6 years with fake charges, and they try and beat you down. But they don't know what women are. They don't know the strength in us when we're fighting for our children. I have 5, 6 young boys of 19, 20 in this college thing. None of them are falling for this bullshit. None of them. They are not having any of it. They won't even go into town to go out. They'll go out camping into the country for the evening to spend the night with each other rather than to deal with the pink-haired, crazy people. They don't want nothing of it. Our boys will be boys. Our girls will be girls. They don't get to destroy them. We need to stand up, and we need, as another lady here said, educate our children. I constantly allow my home open for my son and his friends so we can help educate them. Keep them close because they are coming from them for them. There's no doubt about that. And no one in this country knew that the sex education passed in November of 2019. I came across it through my research of what I do because I was elected at that time, and I just came across it by accident. No one knew. The public did not know. And they are actually 3 years behind in Ireland of shoving it down the throats of our children. It's here now. It's just hit home now. This September, now that the kids are back at school, and now they're saying that the books are free and the books have to stay at school because they don't want the parents seeing what they're teaching them at school. But we've got copies of the books that they've just given out to our kids down south of Ireland. And it's all this woke agenda in the books. This is why they're allowing the books for the first time ever in our lives. And I'm a mother of a 34-year-old and a going on 20-year-old. The first time ever books were ever free. And the books stay at school because they don't want the parents seeing what they're teaching them. In Ireland, it's on the Daily Mail there, I believe, Belfast. An 8-year-old was told to call her teacher there. The teacher wants to be called they, and it's after hitting front papers here. The parents are after racking up. They can only get away with this if we stay silent. The word no is a very easy word to learn, and the more people use it on a daily basis, it's
True.
just no.
Yes, that's
And
true.
it's those two simple words, no. And parents need to, like, if you're not into being out protesting or being active, it's just say the words no. I do not consent are the most strong words, the most powerful words that we all have to protect our children into the future. We do not consent. God bless you all.
Oh, thank you so much for those words. Very inspiring. Angie, I was just going to stop the space, but I have invited you to tell us what you're up to in Aussie. If you care to join us to have the last word, that would be nice. Otherwise, you're unfortunately a bit late, and yes, I haven't forgotten you. I will make an appointment with you. I will do it. I have just been very, very busy in the past weeks. So it's not that I'm not interested, it's just I had too much to um, juggle. Thank you. Okay, so what
You
we were
got
talking
stuff to
about.
do tomorrow, bitch.
What did you just say, Belfast?
I said, you got stuff to do tomorrow, bitch.
Exactly. I heard the B. I couldn't believe it. Well, anyway, yes, let
No,
me
no,
tell you.
don't concentrate on the bitch. It's like you've got stuff to do. I love you.
Exactly. That's why I'm leaving now. That's why I'm leaving so soon. I mean, others know that I'm quite capable of doing 8-hour spaces, but today I won't do that because I need to sleep a bit. Because I can tell you, old ladies and life events is well, exhausting. So after the 2 hours, I'm absolutely finished. All I can do is sit on my motorbike. I actually own a motorbike. I mean, um, a little one. But yeah. So I sit on my motorbike and go to the next place to have something to eat, and that's about all I can handle. But I do it for all of you, for all of your children, for all of our children, for all women, for all my sisters. I'm so happy about this space. I cannot tell you how lovely this was. We had a super, super lovely space yesterday in with the Germans. That was absolutely exhilarating, and today was yeah the same basically. And for those who came late, Belfast was kind enough to recite her poem that I love so much, and that was the absolute highlight of my week. Thank you very much. I take that with me tomorrow in my heart, and all of you who are there doing your stuff to help us out of this fucking misery. And whatever you do, it's precious. Whatever you do, and I mean that. Every single one counts with whatever she does. Okay? So don't be disheartened if you can't go in the street and protest because you can't walk. Do something else. You've got a brain and you've got a loving heart, and you can talk to your sisters and say, carry on the good job. You can't imagine how important that is. This is so important. After when I finished my the talks and everything went smoothly, and someone writes to me, "Oh, that was lovely. I enjoyed those 2 hours." That means the world to me. It actually does, because that is a kind of support that so many don't understand how important it is. How important it is to acknowledge if another woman, whoever it is, and whatever she does something. And I really try to be observant of what other women do and try to pass that on and say, well done, well done. I couldn't be there, but I saw your video. I saw this, I heard that. Well done. Because it is so important to get feedback. And the bad ones, they will come anyway. But the good ones, they sometimes think, oh, yeah, well, you know that you're good. You know it anyway, don't you? No, doesn't count. What I know doesn't count. We need the support of other women who say, oh, this is brilliant. Thank you for your kind words, Belfast, before. I mean, that you will still remember after 2 years the dinosaur action is quite heartwarming. And yeah, so good night to you all. Have a lovely day. Some of you have a lovely day ahead. And I will see you later after I slept. And yeah, I hope you will come back next time and bring your friends and other women and some lesbians too, please, for me.
There can
But
never enough lesbians around.
yeah,
Agreed,
well,
100%. We need more
never
lesbians.
exactly, absolutely, Spiky. I'm so happy to have found you. And actually, I can appreciate now that I'm older. I mean, I don't want to push it, but now that I'm older, I can appreciate all the well, women who say they're bisexual and who are heterosexual and support us again, like Belfast, and that's so wonderful. I couldn't have appreciated it when I was younger, and maybe the times were different, but now I can, and I hold you dear. Okay, lovely women, thank you so much. Hope I see you next time. Um, follow me on YouTube, even if you don't understand German. Follow me on YouTube because the conversation I had with Spiky, I promise it will come and you will enjoy it. You will seriously enjoy it. And that is what's that thumbs down, Belfast?
I hit the wrong button. I meant to
What the
do the heart.
fuck?
Oh, see, look, you're so in touch with me. You love me.
Oh my
You
God,
know we
You're
do.
like, oh yeah, you're so in tune with me. You're like, oh
that's why
shit, she
that
fucking done a thumbs down. Oh no. No, I meant to do the heart.
but Belfast, if that
Love
was
you.
jealousy, look,
I
if that
love
was
you. I'm sure it was devastating for you
well,
because you love
look,
me so much.
Belfast, if that was look, if that was jealousy, just make an appointment with me and we have a chat, and that will be the second English podcast on
No,
my
the
YouTube.
heart is just above the thumbs down.
So, I
Honestly, it
mean,
was
you
meant to be
can
a
think
heart.
about
I
it.
swear to God.
Or
Um,
you,
yeah, I'm going to be in your YouTube channel. I'm going to be like the one like chit chatting, just giving you loads of fucking algorithms. Please, please don't think I did it on purpose.
or you
I
can
love
just
you.
you can just join my podcast and recite your poetry. I would be happy to do that. I
Oh,
love
why?
your
You're the only one who wants to hear it. Brilliant. I love it. I
Isn't
love you.
she an amazing artist?
work.
She is.
Okay,
She is.
okay, sweetie. I send you a big hug
Good
over this
night, my
channel.
darling. You're a
Okay.
brilliant
Good
person.
night.
Love you.
Thank you again. And I know myself. I cannot stop thanking. That's why I just say, um, stay safe and sane, and come back next time when we talk in English. And because it is lovely that so many Germans were here today, because that's what I want. I want my bubble to mix with you. I can come to English spaces, that's not a problem, but I want us to mix, kind of, to understand each other, to talk to each other. That's what. That's why I do this, like this, and it was a pleasure. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night. Mwah.
Thank
Bye.
you. It's been
And
great.
thank you to AP and to Spiky, to my lovely co hosts. I couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much.
I'm not sure about that, but I want to thank everyone. I really enjoyed the space and I learned so much from all of you. Thank you.
Same. Thank you very much. It's been fantastic.
Okay, see you soon. Bye.